Welcome back once again. Here on a lovely Sunday morning, working 7 days a week trying to keep up with this. I'm working on one today. I had one come in yesterday and got another one coming in here in a little while. So I got to keep working, but this is the 91 Honda fourtrax 300, TRX 300, however you want to say it. But if you haven't been following along, kind of back up and catch up, but I'll go over it briefly. Basically, this is the workhorse on the farm, and the guy tried to start it, over a year ago, and it wouldn't start, and he messed with it a little bit, but couldn't get it running. So I found out that there was a bad connection to the coil, got spark, it had good compression. I squirted some starting fluid down the carburetor, and cranked a little bit, but it did fire. So I pulled the carb off, and it was full of water and all kinds of stuff because I probably didn't. I know I put the video on YouTube, but I probably didn't put it on Facebook. But this thing was covered in 8 inches of snow when it came in. And a lot of the thing sat there with, I guess, with the fuel line unhooked forever. And a lot of water went down in the carburetor. So anyway, I mentioned that to him that was going to need to be done. He said, "Oh, I just rebuilt it and all the gaskets should be fine." So that wasn't the case. He might have rebuilt it. I don't know what he calls rebuilt it because it still has the same old jets and stuff in it. But the gasket was a no-go. So one of the ways you tell with these rubber ones is if it's flush. Sorry, the sunlight's kind of messing up the camera here. I come over here to work in this area because of the sunlight, but it doesn't work good with the camera. But anyway, the gasket is either flush with the surface of the bowl, or it's actually shrunk up and receded, which this one has done. So I told him I'll give it a try. So I cleaned the carb real good, and I stuck the bowl back on. I put some gas down the tube like I do, and it just poured out of there. So I already knew that. I went ahead and ordered a gasket kit, and it was supposed to come in like 3 days, but it came in early. So, a carburetor kit rather. Really what I was after was the gasket. I don't know if this camera is having as much of a hard time as it looks like, but I was really after the gasket. But of course the kit, I think this kit was only 15 bucks, like 16 with tax or 17, but it came with some good stuff. I got a new needle, float needle, and a bunch of jets, and the idle mixture screw, some springs, a couple little O-rings. So we're going to give her a little tune up here. And then I'm going to throw it on the bike and make sure it'll fire with the carburetor, with gas in there. I don't see why it wouldn't, because everything, like I say, sorry about this videoing. Like I say, it's horrible with the sunlight beaming through the window, but I use it. It helps me see a lot better. It's brighter than any light I can use, so I usually get some morning light here and I can work. And then in the afternoon, I got to go back to the fluorescent light. So anyway, this thing should fire with no problem. I don't see why not. It's got good compression. Looks like decent spark. It could still be suspect. But like I say, it did fire on ether. So we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But without a good working carburetor, I can't tell them how well it's going to run, if it's going to run, or any of that stuff. So we got to cross one bridge at a time here. And there's some other stuff to be done. Like I say, this thing well, I guess it's been sitting outside its whole life, it looks like. It's really neglected, and it's extremely rusty everywhere. The steering won't hardly turn. The brakes, when you try to roll it forward, that brake over there is locking up. Let me see if I can get in here and show you. You see why? Yeah, that disc is just solid rust. So the rust is in between the disc and the pad, and also that brake disc is supposed to be real shiny, smooth, perfectly smooth, and you can see it's not, so it's creating a lot of friction. So the brakes are locked up, steering's locked up, but first we got to make sure it runs and everything, and then we'll cross the other bridges as we get there. The front fenders and everything is off because he's putting a winch on it. He's made this bracket here. It looks really good. I don't know if he bought that. It sure looks like he did, but yeah, if he's got a metal brake that can bend stuff like that, I think that might be, I don't know. Yeah, it's a solid piece of metal. So wow, pretty impressive if he bent that himself. But anyway, he already was working on it when this all happened. So I kind of got to get this thing in shape for him, get it back so he can finish all that. But I don't know what we're in for yet. Like I say, I can barely turn this steering. It's just so tight. I mean, it takes both hands as much as I can give it, and I'm strong. I'm the dragon. All right, guys, that's going to be it for now. I got a lot to do. Like I say, the shop is full for sure, and I got a bunch more coming, so I got to get to work. Peace out.